I'm Alexis.
And I'm Tiffany, and we're the hosts of Legit KidLit, a video series where we get to see into the secret and silly lives of authors and illustrators.
We love to celebrate and promote books, but most of all, we want to say hey to all you readers out there trying to find that right book for you. We hope that you can find some new reads after today.
Legit KidLit episode 65 welcomes author Heather Clark. Her middle grade contemporary debut, Lemon Drop Falls, releases January of 2022. Mom's last words: keep them safe, help them be happy. Morgan promised, so she sacrifices soccer, free time, and friendships for her younger siblings. But when Dad's talk therapy campout ignites Morgan's anxiety, she makes a reckless decision to prove she can fill Mom's shoes, which leaves her literally fighting for survival. Oh my goodness, talk about a blurb that just draws you right in. I received an e-galley from NetGalley just a few months ago and just flew by with the book. It was just so amazing. I loved literally every part about it.
Oh, thank you so much. I had such a good time writing this book. Well, good time. That's an interesting way to put it, but this book is close to my heart. I actually had a pulmonary embolism just like Morgan's mom about 7 years ago. And at the time, my oldest was in 5th grade and she was dealing with anxiety. And when I nearly died, it was hard for her. And so in an effort to try to write about what I know, I decided to go ahead and write this book. And initially it was prompted by the idea of my husband taking my 3 kids camping for the first time after I had died. And I think it was part of processing the grief of it and part of processing the fear that we all felt and realizing that they would be okay without me and that they would find a way to do life. So yeah, this one's pretty close to my heart and I'm so glad you liked it.
Wow, way to take writing what you know and like spinning it and also healing from your writing. That's really cool, and I'm sure that helped you and your family a lot. And what a tough thing to go through. Is it true that you ate a raw onion and in return you got your book title?
I really love that you're asking me this question. Yeah, so at the time I had a really bad cold, which was lucky for me because one of my siblings in Pitch Wars, one of my Pitch Wars friends, challenged us to eat a raw onion, and I really have no idea why she did that, but she was an artist and she said if somebody would eat a raw onion for her, she would make them a drawing from their book. And I was like, hey, I can't even smell or taste right now, so I'll eat the onion. So I did, and she drew me this wonderful picture of Morgan standing at the top of Canyon Waterfall, and she asked me, what's the title of your book? And I was like, I don't know, something with lemon drops, because the original title was Morgan Bell Takes a Hike, but it seemed a little too like flip and silly for this book because this book's a little more serious. So anyway, she just wrote lemon drops on the bottom, and I'm seeing lemon drops and the waterfall and Morgan, and I just went Lemon Drop Falls, and I was so excited about that title. I don't have the book with me yet because obviously it's not out in print yet, but when it is, this is what it's gonna look like. This is the cover, and actually the cover kind of has a lot to do with that picture that Brighton Common drew for me. And also, I don't have a cold today, and I just thought, you know, what the heck.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Oh, something else I wanted to tell you that's fun that you might want to know is right behind me here. Well, first is that you don't want to smell my breath right now, but second is that right behind me here, this is the exact view that Morgan sees when she decides to take her hike, and also at the end of her hike when she's having her talk with her dad.
Why are you passionate about representing neurodiverse children powerfully in fiction?
So when we think about what neurodiversity is, that just means differences in how our brains work. And if you think about it that way, every person is neurodiverse. We don't all necessarily go by that label, but everybody's brain works differently. And when I was a child, I was dealing with some mental health situations that I didn't understand. And I just thought I was really different than other people. And what was really amazing for me was as an adult, I was able to get the diagnoses of ADHD and OCD, anxiety, and depression, which in various degrees I have dealt with my whole life. And I'll tell you what, I sat in a doctor's office and he explained my particular version of OCD, which is not the normal type. And as he explained that to me, it was the most comforting feeling to know that I'm not alone, because it was like he was just describing my brain. And I think there's probably a lot of kids out there who think differently than the other people around them, and maybe they don't understand why that's happening in their brain. Like, our brain chemicals do a lot of very interesting things, and they help us and they hurt us, right? So I want to tell any of the listeners out there and anybody who reads one of my books, I think you're going to find that the kids in my books, almost all of them deal with some form of different thinking, but that different thinking is going to be a plus and a minus for them. And in some ways it's a superpower. And I just thought I would let you know. So for example, I have a daughter who deals with OCD, and when this is her little telling OCD no jar, and she's got all these popsicle sticks in here with things that bring her dopamine, that help her brain feel great. So like, she's got sing a song, she has got sand garden to like play with her little sand garden, she has got gratitude book. And here in the little jar, she's got this nice little gratitude journal. Anyway, there are so many ways that she has learned to cope with things that are difficult for her. But one of the things that her special brain does is it gives her goal-directed persistence. And what that means is she has a one-track mind a lot of the time, and she's deeply focused. And in 1 second, I'm gonna show you what that means for me today on November the 7th. Okay, it's November the 7th. And you might think, maybe she's sitting in front of a green screen. Maybe that's not even real. Nope, it's real. That's my Christmas tree. It's up on November the 7th. And the reason it's up on November the 7th is it was up on Halloween Day. Because my daughter, with that one-track mind, and my son, decided that they were in love with Christmas so much that when I said, no, we can't decorate for Christmas, the house would have to be immaculate, they cleaned every room in this house and kept it immaculate for an entire week before Halloween. And I got tricked. And now it's Christmas all over the place.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. And thank you for sharing those awesome strategies. So I love when you find a quote in a book that really resonates with you. What quote from your book would you want to share with some readers?
Okay, so this passage from the book is when Dad is telling Morgan that he has been meeting with her therapist because he's worried about her. And that really stresses Morgan out. So I'm just gonna read you a little bit. I went to see Alejandro because whenever I try to talk to you, whenever I ask you how you're doing, you say you're fine. A gust of wind rustles the leaves of the cottonwood overhead, washes goosebumps over me. I wrap my arms around myself to defend against the chill and this feeling that's colder than the evening desert breeze on my bare arms. I am fine. Exactly, Dad says, like I proved his point. Then we glare at each other for a second. Well, mostly he looks worried. I'm definitely glaring. I don't think you're fine, he says gently as you can say something like that. And Alejandro doesn't think you're fine either. My lips tremble and my teeth start trying to chatter. If I'm not fine, what does that make me? I needed your mom, Dad says. Budge and Janie needed her. We all miss her, but you? Losing your mom at this point in your life? I'm worried that... His voice trails off like it would be too awful to say what he's afraid of. He puts a hand on my shoulder, but I pull away fast. I can't be touched right now. I'm made of hard, cold glass, and I'll break if anyone comes near me. Dad and Alejandro think I can't survive without Mom. They think I'll break, or I'm already broken. Broken. The word jangles around in my brain, sharp and jagged. I'm so broken, Dad needs a team to help him help me. So broken, I can't let my dad touch me. So broken, I can't finish a hike without a panic attack. So broken, I'll never survive life without Mom. Darkness presses in at the corners of my vision. I'm seeing Dad down a tunnel. What made me think I could fix things for anyone else? But Alejandra has good ideas for how to help you, Dad says brightly. Like writing what I talk about on a calendar. The words sound like they're coming from outside me. He nods. Like bringing lemon drops and asking specific questions. He nods again. Like taking me camping where we always went with Mom. My voice breaks on those words. I can't be the reason we're here. He watches me for a second, and I go very still. I already know the answer. All this time, I was trying to fix everything for everyone, when the whole point of this trip was to fix me. I'm not the solution. I'm the problem. So that passage from the book is really meaningful to me because Morgan is pretty confused. She doesn't know what she feels in that moment is that she is broken, that there's something very wrong with her. And like we were talking a minute ago about neurodiversity in children, that was something I dealt with a lot as a child, was thinking that there was something very wrong with me because my brain worked differently than the people around me. And I just want to say to any of the readers who are listening, your brain is amazing. And I know that because as I get to know each of you and I see the things that make you unique and that make you you, I see beauty and I see that you're absolutely incredible. And Morgan in this story, she's gonna have some time that she's gonna have to go and discover that as well. And the things that make her special and the things that are difficult, that make her life a little more difficult. But that passage is really important to me because I feel like when I write, I want kids to know almost all of the children in the books that I write go to therapy. Almost all of the children in the books that I write, it's a calm everyday part of their life because it really is. Learning to work with who we are and what we know and how we process information is a big, long journey. And here I am as a mom of teenagers and I'm still figuring that out. And I hope we can all just kind of have patience with each other while we figure it out.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Are you a plan A, B, C type of person?
When I initially read this question, I thought you were asking me which one I am, A, B, or C. And I will tell you, I have ADD, and I didn't know that for a really long time. And what that means is I have to be organized or I will forget everything and things won't work. But sometimes I'm disorganized, so I want to show you. This is literally sitting on my writing desk. I have to do and finished. This is not an app, and I have tried a million different systems, but I gotta tell you, this is one of my new favorites. These are all color-coded, these wonderful little things. Like I've got self-care items like shower, and I've got marketing items like podcast, and I've got writing items like edits. And each one of these represents a 25-minute Pomodoro on a Pomodoro timer, which is 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, that once I finish one of the things, then I get to take it and I get to plunk it into the finished jar. And I react like I love that feeling of the plunking popsicle stick. I'm not a super good planner, and part of the reason I wrote The Mom very different from myself is that it would have been really weird to write that book about myself actually dying. So The Mom is very different from me, but I sure admire her.
I'm just popping in to say, with all these little hints of the book that we're giving you, if you are not anticipating January of 2022 right now, I don't know what else to say, because I'm ready to go read the book all over again. This is amazing.
How many lemon drops have you consumed while writing this book?
Wait, lemon drops? Do you think I'm into lemon drops or something? I mean, I like lemons. I like lemon things and lemon shaped stress balls so that you can squeeze them when you need to, when you're having a struggle. And I mean, a few, I've eaten a few lemon drops for sure, but I will tell you, yeah, this was my Christmas present for or Mother's Day maybe from my kids this year, was my special lemon drop jars. And I found a local supplier where I can get my fix anytime I want to. And I have to tell you the tradition of lemon drops, just really fast. and where we got it from, because we got it from a teacher. And I just want to give a shout out to all of the educators who do such a fantastic, fantastic job helping kids. So when my daughter was suffering from her anxiety after my pulmonary embolism, and she wasn't sure that I was gonna live, we did not have money for therapy at that time. We definitely didn't have a situation where we could just do that. And so her school psychologist visited with her a few times. And I mean, that school psychologist wasn't even dedicated to the one school, you know, she went to several different schools, but she took some time to meet with my daughter. And my daughter did not want to talk about those feelings, because sometimes talking about those hard feelings is really, really hard. And sometimes talking about how our brains work differently is really, really hard. And so my daughter went in to sit down with the psychologist, and she sat down and she said, like, let's talk about what you're feeling. And my daughter's like, basically like, I'm gonna hold inside that my mom almost died, you know? And the psychologist said, okay, honey, I need you to take this lemon drop and just eat it. So she popped it in her mouth, and she started to taste that sour taste that you get when you pop a lemon drop in your mouth. And the psychologist said, difficult conversations are just like lemon drops. They're gonna be sour, but then now taste how it tastes now. And after you have it in your mouth for a while, that initial sour lemon taste kind of goes away, and it starts to get really sweet. And she said, that's what it's like when we start to talk about our feelings and we start to talk about those difficult things. So my daughter came home and told me the analogy. And ever since that time, our family has had the lemon drops tradition, the same one they have in Lemon Drop Falls. And that means that if one of my kids comes in the door from school and goes, Mom, I need a lemon drop, we drop everything. I stop what I'm doing. We go straight to my room, just the two of us, and we sit there, and they get my full 100% focus. And that's how they know, they have a signal with me to let me know that this is serious, you know, because sometimes, have you ever talked to your mom and dad and you're just like, hey mom, let me tell you about my feelings, and your mom's like, yeah, typing away, sorry, like not paying attention. Maybe you don't have an author for a mom and that's not your particular problem. But what I am telling you is, for parents and for students and for teachers, having a specific signal that you have in your family that says, hey, I need your 100% right now, that's been a miracle for our family. And so I gotta tell you, everybody needs a lemon drop every now and then. And it is brave to let yourself feel your feelings, and it is brave to let yourself talk about your feelings. And as you do, it will get sweeter.
I love that. And when I was reading about it in the book, I was like, that is so genius. Like something simple that you could do, but so genius to just have that and take that moment and have it special together. And I'm so glad that it's amazing that you do that with your family too. I love it. So on your website, the tagline is Fierce Hope, Real Adventure. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what that means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. That tagline took me a while to come up with. I was trying to think of words that encapsulate what I try to do with my writing. And every time that I have tried to write something that is not realistic fiction, I tend to come back to that realistic fiction. I love exploring what kids are going through right now, what kids are going through in the real world, because I think that every one of these children that I know is on some kind of great adventure, and it's real. It's their real life. It's their reality. But kids are right in the middle of tons of crazy decisions. Frequently, they wind up powerless to change certain elements of their life and have to find a way to navigate and accept those things. All of my characters in my books have things they want desperately, things that they wish were different. And I feel like in some way, almost every character in my books has to come to grips with the fact that they can't change everything and that they have to learn to accept certain parts of their reality. But their hope, that fierce hope, that's what helps them to make changes that they can make within their reality to bring them joy. And I think that's what makes life such a great adventure.
Oh, Heather, this has been so amazing. I've loved every strategy that you've shared with us, everything about your book, Lemon Drop Falls. We would love to know if you're doing author visits, and kind of tell us quickly about that and how people can get in touch with you. And then also, do you have any new projects that you're working on?
Yes, absolutely. I do author visits. I would love to do author visits both in person and virtually over Zoom. In addition, I am offering this year, especially since I'm launching with my debut, I'm offering a free 30-minute author visit to any teachers that read the book with their class over Zoom. And if you want to reach out to me, you can go to heatherclarkbooks.com, or you can email me at heatherclarkbooks@gmail.com, and I would love to connect with teachers. Also, yes, there are new projects in the works. There's a few. We're looking at a boy who starts a knitting circle at his school for kids as a means of getting out of suspension and other punishment for anger management issues. And then also part of that book is that he is knitting a pair of socks. He's trying to knit with intention. He knits like every pair of socks that he knits will take someone on a journey. And if he focuses his intention, he can get people to go. The socks will take the wearer on a journey. So he could knit a pair of socks for the school bully, for example, and send him far, far away. And maybe if he perfects his knitting on this one perfect pair of socks, they would be enough to bring his mom back home. She's been gone for a long time. So that's one. And then the other, the one that I'm working on right now, is Winston Percy is used to being alone. When he was younger, homeschool during mom's chemo treatments was comforting for his OCD, since he could control every part of their environment and keep mom safe. But when mom relapses and sends Winston to live at Aunt Ruth's crop circle-ridden farm with a horde of over-friendly feral farm children living next door, Winston will have to touch germs, connect with new people, and confront his looming fear that maybe we as a human race are not alone. At least it will all be worth it if Winston can quell his fears long enough to reach out to the aliens who just may have the technology to cure his mom's leukemia.
Wait, when is this one coming out?
So actually neither of these have, they're not finished yet and they haven't been sold yet. So these are just the new projects I'm working on, and fingers crossed. But I do promise that legit KidLit will be the first to know. Or close to the first to know.
That's so wonderful. All of this was so much fun. Thank you. And your books, and you are beautiful.
Tiffany and Alexis, you are both so delightful. Thank you for what you're doing for KidLit. Thank you for what you do for children. And thank you for what you do to help increase literacy and get books into the hands of readers. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have the best day.
You too.